Every piece I try to make and teach you guys, I want it to look as natural and real as possible. I spent well over a decade in the granite industry, countertop world, installing hundreds of thousands of square feet of natural and man-made stone. And people spend a lot of money on that stuff. And why spend all that money when you could save 10 times your money by creating the countertop yourself? We go live every other week, every other Thursday on this channel, and we have a lot of fun. The other week, we made some Mando Marble. It was an amazingly fun time. My little 7-year-old son helped us, and if he can do it, anybody can do this. So from Color Passion, we are working with Ebony Luster, Black Passion, and Pewter. Next up is our silver metallic powder from Polycolor, and then our diamond dust. You can pick up all these colors at stonecoatcountertops.com. This piece is quick, it's easy, and it's gonna last for a very long time. And you can coat right over your existing surfaces in a single weekend. Now these are our black, this is our Ebony Luster. So there's no real crazy technique here, guys. We're just taking that mix and tinted epoxy and getting that over our project. Right out of the gate, we're gonna have a nice, cool base color down just with the two black colors. And once I get my material out over the surface, take your gloved hand and really hit the nooks and crannies on your edges, especially the rock-faced edge. You've got little voids and pits in there to give it that natural rock look. So take your time and really get epoxy covered all your edges right out of the gate. That's a pro tip on this video. That way all your product will self-level uniformly as you start adding all the layers of material. And the amount needed for this project is about 5 ounces per square foot. No need for a tape dam. We're just applying the epoxy, layering it, getting rid of the air bubbles, and letting it cure. Bam. So there's my black. My whole project is covered. A couple little dry spots aren't gonna matter because now we're gonna start bringing in our pewter and our silver metallic powder. Kind of the same technique. We're just bringing in our silver in different ribbons, and then we're gonna come in and meld it. You can always add more material, guys. It's pretty hard to take it away unless you have some leftover base color like that black. So now, same deal, taking my gloved hand and just melding these colors right into the black. And kind of a cool feature, guys, and this goes for whatever project you're making. If you have a black layer down here at the bottom like I have, you're gonna see later on when I do this chop technique with the magic trowel, it pulls black colorant up from below and gives me these tiny little black fracture lines that you can't get any way else. So you can incorporate that into all sorts of different countertop epoxy styles and get some pretty cool, amazing looks. And with Stone Coat Epoxy, the material is designed and formulated for, the do-it-yourselfer wanting to save money and time off kitchen and bathroom remodels. So next step I did making my Mando Marble was take that silicone tip, take my magic trowel, and with light pressure, I'm just gonna skim that across this surface. You can see what that does. I'm gonna grab 91% isopropyl alcohol, and I'm gonna mist that over the surface of my project. Right over everything I just did, and that's gonna sell and fracture this project, giving me just one more little layer. So now at this stage, guys, we got a pretty cool background going. A couple options here. If you really like the look of this, you can keep it right like this. The second option is I can come in with my trowel, chop in some lines, give me some baby fracture lines. I really want to brighten this up. It's a little too dark for me. So, like I said earlier, you can always add more color. You can't take it out. I'm gonna grab some of my pewter and just add a little bit more. You can add that with a paint stick if you wish. You can also just pour right on out of the cup. Just be careful. You can kind of pour a little. If you're not careful, you could really get a big blob in there and it can take over. So if you're concerned about that, grab your paint stick and kind of just let it, give yourself a smaller amount of lines. But what I'd never do is blob in resin like that and never touch it. That looks horrific. So to make it blend in, I'm just gonna, with light pressure, I'm gonna skim over this silver. I'm kind of wanting this silver to, rather than really incorporate like I was doing before and blend in with the black, I'm wanting this to skim and almost take over a little bit more. So right off the bat, I'll come in and skim this, and you could see I'm only gonna skim specific spots, right? You see that? Where I'm leaving a lot of it undone. And those lines that are getting left really add some really cool stuff later on as this starts to meld over. Bam, I love it. I'm gonna leave that. I don't like that, so if you see like a hard line you don't like, just grab your trowel, kind of move it in. You could always blend that in. These hard lines aren't bad, because remember I've got some diamond dust. I'm gonna start bringing that in and giving me some little accent fracture lines. Okay, I'm digging that. It's looking good. It's a lot brighter. Let's get a little bit of my ISO in here. Here's another pro tip. If you want to change the look, you know, I gave it a little baby misting before. If I give myself a little puddle of alcohol in my hand, I can then kind of throw bigger droplets, and then see the bigger drops will give you bigger cells, and then come in with the little cells, and a combination of both the different sizes, another layer of realism. Like, look at this, holy cow. See the bigger and little, it's just a combination of all that. Every piece I try to make and teach you guys, I want it to look as natural and real as possible. I spent well over a decade in the granite industry and countertop world, installing hundreds of thousands of square feet of natural and man-made stone. And people spend a lot of money on that stuff. And why spend all that money when you could save 10 times your money by creating the countertop yourself? So since my trowel made all these cool hard lines already, what I'm gonna do is take some of my diamond dust, which is really see-through, but has that beautiful sparkle, and I'm gonna start following some of these natural fissure lines, just to accentuate some of that. And there's really no wrong way to do this, guys. If you want these really fine, I will pick my stick up and I'll let a lot of this drizzle off. If you want them a little bit fatter, just full send with all that material. So I'll show you both methods right now. We're gonna give us a lighter one here by first letting some drizzle off back into my cup, and then we're coming right into this material. And you could push it in the material itself, like my stick's running in it. That's okay. I'm rotating the tip of that stick to give it just a little bit more of an organic look, so I'm not just following a line. Think about it too much, guys. Just look at the piece as a whole and follow some of these fracture lines. Kick it that way, follow this line, kick it that way. Next thing I'm gonna do after this step is I'm gonna give myself some chop lines. You could go right over this and we could come back and layer our veins right back again. It's only gonna add more visual interest. So if you don't have your magic trowel, that's okay. You could also use a popsicle stick. It's just a lot smaller. You could pick these up right on Amazon. I'll leave a link in the description. But what I'm gonna do in here is just come in and randomly chop that in. And you'll be able to see the little wisps of black that pull up that give us some really cool lines. And what I'm talking about is these little guys, these little wisps. They're everywhere, they're awesome. And I'm gonna pop these bigger bubbles here with a blowtorch, and then we're gonna mist this one more time with isopropyl, and then layer on some more diamond dust. That's pretty awesome. But you could see when you do that chop, you create some bubbles. Totally normal, not a big deal. Look how quickly and easily the propane torch eliminates them. Okay, bam, it's beautiful. Now I'll give it a quick mist of 91% isopropyl, which gives it another, takes away that human look. I'm always wanting this to look as natural as I can. And that isopropyl really takes away some of the pattern of that magic trowel to make it look organic. That is amazing looking. Boom. Same over here. Chop this up. Now, that little puddle, I'm gonna take the trowel rather than chop, I'm gonna skim it. Come back over here. Skim it. And I wanna leave some of it unskimmed. See what that does. Get rid of some of this air. Now come in, if there's these sections, this is the alcohol you don't like, just kind of touch those spots with your gloved finger. That eliminates that. You can run a stick through it if you wanted, but if you just kind of touch it. And that often happens too, guys. This is fresh it's real fresh in the material, so it's soft, it's very fluid. You're less likely to have the black and the crater show if you miss that alcohol later in the process. Okay, I'm gonna bring in some more diamond dust fractures. This thing turned out amazing. I already know exactly where I'm gonna put it at home. So the technique of putting the black epoxy down below and then the colors on top, the lighter silvers, the pastes, and then all the different moves we did really tied this together. It's amazing. The swipes, the chops, the misting of the alcohol all came together to make an amazing piece that Mando would be proud of. Guys, thanks for watching. I hope you learned some fun tips and tricks. And until next time, from all of us here at Stone Coat Epoxy, don't forget you got this, and we'll see you on the next video.